Wonderful. Hi. Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome. I am so happy that you're joining me this day. I decided to create this little video to introduce you to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene's Magdalene Moonrise Easter celebration and give you a little bit of a hint about why we're gathering. For me, when we gather in this sacred, holy, divine, feminine way, it's really because there's a sacred, holy power that gets activated. And many of us who've been in these ceremonies in the past know what we're talking about. It's kind of like what they were talking about, the thirst that quenches the thirst. And you're filled up because you're connecting with the truth of who you are. And you are the love of God. You are peace. You are happiness. These are things that are the divine aspects of what was manifested in the creation of you. But we have been convinced by a thought that we are separate. And so we think we need to do our separate thing and all this stuff. But really, the most significant part about why we gather is in the joining. For when we join one to another at this level of consciousness, at this heartfelt space of love, and activate that love, we move in to a celebration, for love is a celebration of life. And we need this at this time if we're going to see a world living in love. So I want to take this moment before I go on and just light this candle for you. As it is you that I wish to speak to, right? It is you that I want to convince. For me, the Magdalene movement and the Magdalene path is one of the most significant social justice paths of our time. And it's primarily because my light going out. Oh no, my light went out. Oh dear. That's all right. We got more light. I don't know why my light went out. That's the way it is, right? You ask yourself, well, what can I do as one person? I mean, we have a war going on. Can you imagine if your apartment building got bombed and you had to join millions of people who are fleeing because of the apartment building being bombed and flee for your life? And what do you have? You have your suitcase and you have your humanity and your trust in humanity that you will be greeted on the other side. But oh my God, the disruption and why? Because somehow we can allow one person to decide that I want to declare war on somebody else. And this is over 40 days. I mean, it's like we need the peacekeepers. We need the one voice for peace. And then when we'll have peace prevailing, I don't know. I'm kind of beside myself, and I'm sorry if I'm seeming a little distraught like that. But to be an influencer of peace is what I want you to join me in. Maybe you think, well, what can one person do? Well, you can join with me, right? And in joining with me, we can be a force to be reckoned with, a force for good, a forces where we make our voices heard, where we declare that we want peace and we want love, and all these problems that the bombs are being dropped on people and this destruction is happening can be solved by just being more generous and sharing and having a caring culture of kindness. It's like, you have and know that love is the answer. And you have that love within you. And it's the power of love that you carry that cannot go unnoticed. So use your presence of love to let others know, yes, I am peacekeeper, and join with me. We are going to have a wonderful opportunity this Sunday from 4 to 6 with other Magdalene devotees from all around the world. We're going to line up and join together in the celebration of the peace and the love that we are. We've got Sharon Andersen, who wrote the book, Shannon Andersen, who wrote the book, The Magdalene Awakening. And she started a whole peace movement based on the principles and the passion of who and what the Magdalene is. And I've got Claire Sierra, who wrote the Magdalene Path, who helps us to learn how to navigate a path and join with others in creating community, because we need a community of love. We need you. We need you, those who are willing. It's like Course of Love says, it's the forerunners of Mary is who we're looking for. And who are the forerunners of Mary? They are those that when they see an image of the divine feminine, when they hear the stories, especially the suppressed stories of the divine feminine, they sit up, they pay attention, they become alert, and they wish to know, is there something that you're calling me to do? How can I serve? And, we serve by joining and elevating ourselves into an elevated feeling state of love. And from that state of love, we send out a field of energy that ignites the hearts and souls of many. It's like Marianne Williamson said, who are you not to let your light shine? And when you do become willing to let your light shine, it gives other people permission to have their light shine. And when the light is shining, what happens to the darkness? It's gone. So I don't know. I'm trying to reach out to you. I'm trying to ask you, if we were to gather by the hundreds, if we were to gather by the thousands, I think, what is that? There's a marker that, things will go viral at 1 million or whatnot. And when they do, believe me, it gets noticed. But what is going viral these days? Notice the kind of viral videos that go viral. Peacekeeper videos go viral. Well, here's the thing. If you share the video to 6 people and inspire and uplift them to share their video, the video they receive, then what happens is, if it keeps going out and they share to 6 and they share to 6, now the whole world knows that there are many of us who want to see a world living in love. There are many of us who are willing and open-minded enough to claim and know that we are divine, that we want to say, yes, I am a peacekeeper, and I choose peace instead of this war. And we will continue to move forward, because if we go back to sleep, maybe we'll wake up with the war on our doorstep. And we don't want to do that. Nobody wants war. And the poor people who are suffering, and the poor people in Yemen and in these countries where they're dealing with starvation, and it's going to be an even worse year next year, because the seeds are not getting planted in the fields in Ukraine. So there isn't going to be the resource of food, that they have a huge percentage of contribution to the food of the world. So this is going to create quite an extraordinary famine throughout the world if we don't rise up and make our voices heard and make our presence known. And, we have the teachings of Christ in our midst, this teaching of love and peace, because Magdalene stood up in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. It says that she arose and she ignited the passion in the disciples. They did not want to go out. They thought they were going to get crucified. And she said, no, please, the grace will be amongst you. And suddenly they were inspired and talking about the master's teaching. What did he teach? He was a peacemaker. He taught about love. He taught about sharing and healing and caring and healing the sick and helping the poor. And that is not what we have. We are so far from his original teachings. It's just shocking. And so it's really the divine feminine that's been missing. And we need to bring her presence forward, because when she stood up to the disciples and she said that we should go forth and spread the good news, they were inspired by her courage, and they did. And so that's how we even have the teachings to this day, is because she inspired them to do that. So I hope you will be inspired to join us this Sunday from 4 to 6 California time. You can go to the gospelofmarymagdalene.info, and I would love to share with you for just a moment. Hold on here. I just wanted you to know who will be joining us. We have Nina Gray, who's beautiful voice. She's a social justice advocate, and she has used her gift of songwriting to write songs of love that reach out to the people and inspire the people into their hearts. And Caroluna, who's holding the harp, is going to play this beautiful song she wrote, while Elizabeth Kelley, who's of the Holy Order of Mary Magdalene, dances the dance of awakening, so we can bear witness to what it is to awaken. You know, it's like the Dalai Lama said, it's going to be the Western woman who will awaken and bring forth the awakened state of consciousness. And then we have Elaine Dowdy, who's priestess and has her own temple, and she has a mystery school, and she's going to be leading us in a beautiful embodied demonstration of anointing. Because if we don't claim our sacred self, if we don't step into the divine nature that I am and honor that part of ourselves and allow ourselves to be in our divine nature, it is our divine nature that says the babies need to be fed. It is our divine nature to share. It's our divine nature to care. It's our divine nature to send out love. So we need to be given that permission and that witnessing to be in our divine nature. And then we have Anasuya, who is a scholar of Black Madonna, and she has traveled the world and walked the land of the sacred sites to her, and she's communed with the Divine Mother and the Earth Mother energies, and she knows that she can speak from her experience that the Mother loves us and wants us to awaken. And people go, well, it's really about oneness, isn't it? And I go, yeah, it's about oneness. And we've had the patriarchy up here, right? And the divine feminine has been this little blip on the radar screen. So we're raising her up. Why? Because we need the equality. For God's sakes, we don't even have the Equal Rights Amendment ratified yet. You know, we still have so much inequality that's going on in our world. So once we have the equality of the divine masculine in sacred respect to the divine feminine, then we can join together as one. And in that oneness, then we'll start seeing a world living in love. And so I've asked Scott Katamas to join us, because Scott has been doing a phenomenal job with Deborah Giusti. They have been building the Global Peace Tribe. And what is the Global Peace Tribe? It's the tribe of people. And he's been gathering these leaders all across the country who are having a tremendous impact and change in our culture by bringing their skills and their talents to help people raise into a higher consciousness and into wellness and wholeness. And he's going to be joined with Daniel Lampin and Ilona Marshall who are creating a forgiveness ceremony, because we've got to start forgiving each other. And we have to also forgive the collective. And when we move into a state of forgiveness and let go, we are released from the burden of the trauma when we go into true states of forgiveness. So Ilona is going to lead a meditation that helps with that freedom. Because the Course in Miracles says that at any given time, we carry somebody that we are harboring a resentments or a grievance towards. So this is a work in process where we just have to keep forgiving, because we think we're separate. We think that you're different from me, when we all breathe the same breath of God. We all have the same life. The creativity of life is in us, as us, and it's no different. It's all the one life, right? And then, of course, I have Shannon Andersen and Claire Sierra, who are authors of the Magdalene Path and the Magdalene Awakening, which they will share their journeys. So it's going to be a glorious, uplifting, and beautiful celebration. So I do hope that you will join with us for this incredible day, so that we may make our presence known. So please come and join us. This is an energy that's very uplifting, open-hearted, wholehearted, and very gentle. But what happens is that all separation vanishes when we share that which is holy. This is a line from the Course in Miracles that has carved the path of my sacred work. For holiness is power, and as we share it, it gains in strength. And we need the strength of holy power. We need the peacekeepers to come. So we're calling forth for the forerunners of Mary. And who is a forerunner of Mary? It's any person, male or female, who resonates with the divine and is willing to rise up and know that I can offer my love, because we so underutilize the power of the love that we are. And yet we know in our hearts of hearts, we know that love is the answer. So why don't we go to the love? Why don't we utilize the love? Because we're conditioned out of it. But when we join together in sacred space and all separation vanishes, and suddenly we are a field of love. And that field of love goes out as a wave and impacts us at the level of divine mind. And then in ceremony, we send our prayers and our intentions for peace. So my peace be with you. And please join us. We'll see you on Sunday. Blessed be. Thank you so much. Bye. I love you all.